If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview.
He finally realized, okay, I got to say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to marry her.
When you met Steve, he was already married. And you walk in late to his show. Late. You walked in late for a reason. For the attention, huh? Not even knowing you, he said, I'm gonna marry you. Girl, who you don't call? Oshun, ugly friend?
So Steve Harvey thought it was a power move to toss some dusty, recycled shade at Katt Williams once again. Now, Katt is absolutely incinerating Steve's wife, Marjorie Harvey, and honestly, his receipts are actually adding up. According to Katt, Marjorie is the true puppet master, pulling every single string while keeping Steve on a short leash and coaching Lori Harvey on how to secure that luxury lifestyle through men. The only reason Steve is still barking about Katt is because Marjorie gave the order. Apparently, she is still fuming that Katt exposed that alleged contract Steve signed to land himself a light-skinned, weird-faced trophy wife. Now Steve is out here throwing jabs at Katt with Marjorie's hand shoved so far up his back, he looks like a ventriloquist dummy. Let's get into it. Is Marjorie really this calculated evil genius orchestrating everything from the shadows? Or is she just a glorified groupie who mastered the long game? It has been over 2 years since Katt Williams delivered that legendary interview on Club Shay Shay, yet Steve Harvey still cannot stop vibrating. When the footage originally went viral, Steve actually threatened Katt, claiming he would literally shoot the perm straight off his head. So yeah, Katt Williams clearly struck a major nerve with those comments. But here we are years later and Steve Harvey is still spiraling. During a recent appearance on The Pivot, Steve dragged Katt again, claiming he is just a bitter, jealous hater who is not on his professional level. If Steve Harvey truly thinks Katt Williams is just jealous of his success, why is he this triggered? You do not publicly threaten to take someone out over mere comments, unless you are deeply insecure. This is exactly where Marjorie Harvey enters the frame. According to a Harvey family insider, it was actually Marjorie who forced Steve to address Katt and issue that threat. Allegedly, it is all because of Katt's claims about how comedians who want to reach the top must sign onto a specific program. A program that conveniently includes a light-skinned, weird-faced wife. Katt Williams also reminded everyone how Steve Harvey abandoned his first wife in the trenches for Marjorie Harvey. Now he acts like Marjorie was the one there when he had nothing. You literally credited your first wife for your success, then forgot her once you married a woman who thinks like a man. Like, what are you even talking about? These people really think they can just rewrite history. Nowadays, Marjorie loves to flaunt a lavish lifestyle on social media, rubbing elbows with billionaires. However, before she secured Steve, she was nowhere near private jets. She was living a completely different reality until she locked eyes with Steve at a Memphis comedy club, which he swears was instant destiny. They clicked immediately, but after a few weeks, Marjorie Harvey vanished because his bank account was not hitting back then. Fast forward to 2005, and they find each other again, but this time Steve Harvey has a hit sitcom under his belt. Suddenly, Marjorie is ready to give him another shot. Here is the messy part. Steve was still married to his second wife, Mary Shackelford. Mary later revealed that Steve was cheating with Marjorie the entire time before the divorce papers were even final. And it gets even more sinister. Mary claims Steve Harvey took their son, Linton Harvey, and brainwashed the boy against her, manipulating the courts to leave her with absolutely nothing. But Steve Harvey was never the actual architect. That was all Marjorie Harvey. Sources claim she mapped out the entire strategy to ice out his ex-wife completely. On top of that, Marjorie reportedly coached Steve to brand Mary as crazy in the press, and Steve ran with it. He started gaslighting Mary relentlessly, labeling her bitter and toxic, while claiming she was the one damaging their son. Katt Williams saw this manipulation coming from a mile away. No matter how much Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey try to spin the narrative, the public is not buying the act. Marjorie quickly became one of the most disliked wives in Hollywood, but that is not even the shadiest chapter of her history. Before becoming Mrs. Harvey, she had already walked down the aisle twice. Her first husband was a kingpin named Jim Townsend, and word on the street is Marjorie was not just a housewife. She was reportedly knee-deep in the criminal enterprise. Sources claim the FBI and DEA had her on their radar and told Jim to flip or Marjorie was going down with him. Jim cooperated but still got life in prison, serving 26 years until a 2017 pardon. Marjorie walked away clean, filed for divorce, and dipped. Then it gets extra messy. Right after dumping Jim, she started dating his cousin, Darnell Woods, who was also a dealer. Darnell is Lori Harvey's biological father. If the timeline feels dizzying, it should. Steve and Marjorie claim they met in the late 90s, meaning they were likely both cheating on their partners back then. Once Marjorie saw Steve's star exploding, she dropped Darnell like a bad habit. Darnell ended up just like her first husband. Darnell was arrested, charged, and actually just secured his freedom from prison recently. Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey finally tied the knot in 2007, and Steve adopted her 3 children, Morgan Harvey, Jason Harvey, and Lori Harvey, adding to his own 4 biological kids. Today, they love playing relationship gurus on TV. But insiders claim that household is way more fractured than the cameras let on. A source recently leaked to Radar Online that there is major tension because Marjorie is obsessed with shoving Lori into the spotlight to trap a famous husband while practically ignoring her other children. The same source says Marjorie rules the roost completely and is the one teaching Lori exactly how to play the dating game. On top of that, we are hearing that Michael B. Jordan never trusted Marjorie from the jump because nothing he did for Lori was ever enough for her mother. Rumors suggest Michael was ready to propose but asked for a prenup, which is totally normal when you are worth millions. Marjorie allegedly shut it down immediately, claiming she does not believe in prenups. How convenient for someone who built an entire life on other people's money. Marjorie supposedly convinced Lori to dump Michael and move on to the next rich target. Katt Williams did more than just clap back. He checked her entire existence. Marjorie is not some classy self-made queen. She is a calculated operator who built her life on positioning, timing, and men. When Katt put that mirror up, it was not just shade, it was a total exposure. He stripped the illusion, called out the manipulation, and made it clear that Steve is not leading anything. He is being led. After the kingpins, the FBI, the abandoned ex-wives, and Marjorie walking away scot-free every single time, do you really think Steve is calling any shots, or is he just her puppet? Tell me your thoughts on Katt's industry contract theory in the comments, and stick around for this next deep dive.